Alright, so in today's video we're going to be talking about the various notes in scents. And there's 3 different categories of them. It's a great time to be talking about them because this time of year a lot of us might be making our own gifts to give away to family or friends, or even just creating products for our own home. We might be entertaining a lot more, so we want it to smell really good. We might be making different beauty products, and so we want them to have a certain scent. And I always think it's a really nice personal touch if you say like, hey, I blended this for you, I made this candle or this lotion for you, and I thought of you when I picked these things out. So before we do that, it's important to know the different categories of these scents. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how to create a popular essential oil blend that many people like and enjoy, and how these different scent notes kind of play into it. Now there are 3 different types of notes in scents, and for those of you that have ever played music or read music, you'll know that most songs are comprised of the bass clef and the treble clef, and so put together they create a beautiful song. But each part individually doesn't quite make up the whole song. You kind of need the other one, and they bring out the best in one another. Well, this is the same thing when we're talking about the layers of notes in a various scent. And as I mentioned, there are 3 different categories. So you have base, middle, and top notes. First, let's talk about the base notes, because these base notes represent the important foundation for our scent. And they comprise anywhere in between 5 to 20% of the entire scent. And they tend to be characterized by being more resinous, they're heavier, and they are the longest lasting out of all of the notes. So some examples are frankincense, myrrh, vanilla absolute, coffee absolute, benzoin, which I have in my personal essential oil arsenal, and if I remember correctly, I purchased it because it smells like vanilla, but at the time at least it was a lot cheaper than vanilla absolute, which can be really pricey. Cedarwood is another example of a popular essential oil that's considered a base note. There's vetiver and valerian. Those are just some examples. A fun fact is that cinnamon bark is considered a base note, while cinnamon leaf is considered a middle note. And speaking of middle notes, let's talk about those because they represent sort of the bridge in between the base notes and the top notes. And they bring out the best qualities in both of those types of notes, and they do a good job of just blending and balancing everything together. They represent the majority of what you're smelling, so anywhere in between 40 to 70% of the total scent. Now, a lot of the holiday spices that we think of are examples of middle notes. So allspice, ginger, nutmeg, as I mentioned, the cinnamon leaf, clove, black pepper, also clary sage, rosemary, eucalyptus, and thyme. Finally, let's talk about our top notes. Now these represent anywhere between 20 to 30% of the overall scent. And they're the attention grabbers. They're the notes that are going to just draw you in really quickly, and then they're also going to make a relatively quick exit because they are highly volatile, so they don't stick around as long as the base notes. Some examples are the citrus oils, so lemon, orange, grapefruit. Some other ones are basil, citronella, fir, so fir needle, peppermint, spearmint, and actually eucalyptus can be categorized as either a middle or a top note. As promised, I'm going to show you how these 3 layers of scent all come together to form a blend using a popular example. And actually, I was just going to tell you the name of this blend, but upon my research, I found out that it's copyrighted, so I don't want to get in any trouble, so I'm going to refer to it as the Robbers blend. Probably know which blend I'm talking about, and if not, just do a little research, and it's not going to take rocket science to figure out to which blend I'm actually referring. So let's start off with the base layer. This is going to be the cinnamon bark. So for my diffuser, I don't need a lot of essential oil. I'm happy with this diffuser, so if you're interested in it, I'll try to find the link if I can, and if so, I'll put it in the notes for you. So I'm just going to put in a drop. If you have the dropper tops, oops, 2 drops, pretend that was a drop. But if you have the actual droppers, it's going to be a lot easier to be more accurate. I wish I had some for these. I'm sure I could buy some, but I don't. So I'm just working with what I have here. So for our middle notes, we're going to use clove. So there should be 2 of the cloves. And clove, if you've ever used it, is very strong. Never apply it directly to your skin because it'll burn, so use a carrier oil with it. This smells really good. Okay, we're gonna do 1 drop, much easier from these little dropper bottles, of rosemary. All right, now for our top layer. I'm going to attempt to put in 2 drops of lemon. Now in this blend, I have seen different versions where some people use lemon, some people use orange. I prefer lemon because it's a little bit brighter. And then finally, I'm going to add 1 drop of eucalyptus, which we learned can either function as a middle or a top note. And that's all there is to it. So all we have to do now is put our top on. Turn it on here. And you have a wonderful scent that to me just smells like wintertime and Christmas. I hope you found today's video helpful. If you liked it, feel free to actually like the video or subscribe and tell your friends. Thank you for those of you that have been subscribing and commenting. It really means a lot, and I will see you all again soon.